Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing extremely well. So guys, in today's video we are going to talk about immutable class. This is one of the important topics when considered from interview point of view, and obviously you should have the knowledge about it, right? So let's get started. So first of all, if we are referring the Oracle doc here, so what is immutable object as per the doc? So here you can see an object is considered immutable if its state cannot change after it is constructed, right? Means once the object is constructed, you cannot change its state. Maximum reliance on immutable objects is widely accepted as a sound strategy for creating simple, reliable code. So as of now, refer this definition. That's what they have said, right? And in terms of uses, so they are used in concurrent applications as if they cannot change state, they cannot be corrupted by thread interference or observed in an inconsistent state. I know, as of now you don't have the proper idea, so everything is like what is she talking about. I know that, right? So instead of getting into too much theory, let's directly deep dive into code, and from there let's try to understand. Cool. So I hope you can see my screen, and here we are. Okay, so your task is to create an immutable class. This is your question, right? So let's say you are having an employee class. Here we have employee class, right? Now it's having attribute, let's say id of the employee, and next it is having the name of the employee, right? Name, right? So this is our class. Now what do we need? We need getters, setters, we need constructors for it. So let's do that part. Right? So here we are done with the constructor. Let's give some space. Then of course we need getters and setters, right? So let's get to that part. I know most of the time I use the word right. I working on it somehow. It's like a filling the gap kind of thing. So we have getters and setters done. Okay. So yeah. Now let's take one more class that will be our main class. So here let's take class main, and as I said that it would be our main class, right? So I want to create an object of employee class. So new employee, what it is expecting in id and string name. So id, let's say 10, and name, let's say Soumya. Fine. And yeah, let's print this one, something create constructor. So we already have, right? Okay, we didn't save it, that's why we're getting error. So yeah, let's run it. So here we have to provide toString method, right? So let's do that as well so that we can see the values clearly. So here's our toString method. So now if you will run it, so hopefully we'll be able to see. So employee id, you can see 10, name Soumya. Right now what I'm doing is, so here is our object. No, so employee dot set name, let's say as Sumu, right? So that's what I've changed the name, and again I am printing it, right? So if that's this time, you will see, so you can see the name has been changed. But Soumya, wait, this was an immutable class, right? Then how is it even possible? The thing should be that you are not able to change this state you are changing, right? The attributes, you can see you have changed, so it is not an immutable class. Obviously it is not. So what can I do to prevent my class? First of all, remove those setters so that you cannot change the value. I removed it, I removed this one, right? And make your fields, make the attributes as final. so that they cannot be modified. Once initialized, they cannot be modified, they cannot be changed, they cannot be altered, right? So that is done. We have removed the setters, we have made our fields as attributes as final. So here we are getting error, obviously, which is expected. So because now we don't have setter methods, right? So that's fine. Again, if you will run it, so you can see now the state is not changing. So can I say this is an immutable class now? Can I say this is an immutable class now? But one more thing that you will see is that with your immutable class, it is always been mentioned to use final. Although it's not like that it is mandatory. I mean, if you will read about it in some books like Effective Java, if I'm recalling it correctly, so there it has been mentioned, but it is not mandatory. I mean, it is not mandatory that you should use final keyword along with your immutable class, but it is always recommended, because see, if it is not final, then it means that your class can be inherited, right? And in that scenario, there can be a possibility that subclasses is causing some, such kind of operations which is somehow breaking the immutability of your class. So to avoid such kind of scenarios, to avoid this kind of confusion, it is always been recommended, it has always been mentioned that to use final keyword. So okay, so now you can note down the things. First thing, you should not have setter methods. Setter methods should not be there. See, we are not getting into theory, that's why I can directly even mention those points, but I just wanted to tell you that why we are doing these things. Setter methods been removed. Then what we did, we made our attributes as final, made the attributes, made the, you can say, the members of the class as final, right? Made the members of the class as final, right? And then class also as final. These three things been achieved, right? These three things been achieved. So can I say that now our class is mutable? Is it? Let's say there's a new requirement that we have to include the address also of the employee, and for that they are saying that okay, let's take a separate class. Let's say the interviewer said take a separate class. Okay, so I'm gonna do this, take a separate class address, right? And this class, you don't have to make it as immutable. Okay, you don't have to make it as immutable. So okay, then if it is not, then it is having, let's say, two values: country of the employee, and city, or yep, country and city of the employee, right? So it is not immutable as mentioned. So we'll be having getter, setters, constructor, and everything we have to set up, right? So let's do that. So constructor using fields generate, then getters and setters generate, right? So yeah, done. And now here this address obviously we need it here. So again, same, we have to follow with address also, make it as final address. So yeah, included. Now we have to initialize this in our constructor also. So yeah, that has been done. We have to, okay, sorry, okay, so here we have added this address also, right? So this toString also we have to update. Okay, so this toString, let's update this as well. Generate toString. Fine. So yeah, let's get back here. So they're saying to add country India, and here let's say we are having Kanpur. Kanpur spelling is not correct, so Kanpur as the city. Fine. So first we'll be printing employee. Now what I'm doing is that let's do employee dot what is that? That's Soumya. Do employee dot then get. Okay, so getters are allowed, right? So we need one more getter for whom? For our address. So let's do that. Where is source? I'm always you know, just looking for where is source. Yeah. So yeah, here we are. Let's get back to this place. So employee dot get address dot then get city. Okay, or dot set city as, let's say now they're saying Lucknow. Okay, so let's run our code. And okay, let me do this way that so that it is clearly visible to you, right? Now let's run it again. Okay, in address also we have to have this source and to string generate and run it again as if, yeah. So oh, Soumya, so you were saying that your employee class is what? Immutable. Then what is this? Address here, address was we mentioned, right? India Kanpur. Then expectation should be that here India Kanpur should be there. But see, you are able to set, like, see, address class is not immutable, right? So that's why, but it is a part of the employee, and here you can see employee is immutable class and address is even final. Then you are able to see this value is getting changed, city is getting changed, even country if you will try, right? So country will also be, you will be able to change. Then can you say this employee is immutable? No, right? Then what you will do, this will be the question from the interviewer. Then how will you make sure that it is immutable? Now the very silly, I should say, I'm not sure if it is the right term, because you know, if we don't know the thing, so it's not like silly, but yeah, the answer that we can give is that let's make address also as immutable. But this should not be the right thing, right? She has clearly specified that address you are not supposed to make it as immutable, right? Then what? Then in that scenario, what could be done? Can you think about it? Like how you will make sure that we are not able to change those values? Okay, so see, and one more thing you must be thinking that Soumya, here we have used final. Then how we are able to change those? See, you have used final with address, means the reference of this object, the reference you won't be able to change. But address class in itself is what? It is a mutable class. So obviously the attributes you can change, that is allowed. They are not final. This address is what? A class. You have mentioned here it is final, right? So the reference that you will provide, that will be as it is. So as of now, what we are doing is we are providing the exact reference. Here you can see here, if you will come, so employee.get address means we are accessing that reference of that particular address object only we are getting. So somehow if we can do this thing, that we are not providing the access to the same object, the reference of the same object. So we can make sure in this way that our original object is not going to be impacted. Oh, that makes sense. But how you will do it? Now the question comes, how you will do it? So here where you are returning address, right? Where you are returning address, what you can do is that you are returning return new address. So that will be your address object you have, right? So get city and address dot get country. So see, now here what we are doing is, okay, what you just did, what we are doing, see, our concern is that here why we are able to change, because we are providing the reference to that actual address object, you know, and we have the setter, so that's why we are able to update the value of the city or even country you can take here. So what I'm saying, then when we are getting this address, no, don't give the actual reference of the actual object. We'll create a new object. See here, new object we are creating, and it is like kind of values we are copying here. See, get city, get country, but that is providing a new object. Here you can see we have used the keyword new. So now if you will run it, let's see what will happen. Let's see. Oh, so now you can see the city is still Kanpur, means whatever change you did here, no, so that has been done into a new object, even if you don't trust. Let's do this way. That okay, Swami, I don't trust you. Can you validate your statement somehow? I am not getting what you are trying to say. Can you validate your statement? How can I be sure on that part? So address dot set city, let's say we did the Lucknow, right? So let's do this thing. Okay, what is, yeah, so we are saying address dot hash code. Let's print the hash code, है ना? If the object is same, the hash code would be same. You know, you must be knowing that, right? So we have our original address, right? And here we have provided this our original address. So what we'll be doing is we'll be printing the hash code of this original address as well as this address that we have got from employee.getAddress. So original address dot hash code, and as if both the objects are different, right? Because every time when we are getting this address, we are returning a new address, making sure the values are same, right? So you can see the hash code is different. Right? But when we were not having this thing, okay, let's do that as well. When we were not having this thing, right? When we didn't implemented that fix that as of now I have shown you. So see, then we were having the reference of the actual object, and that's why the value was getting impacted. You can see now we are getting Lucknow here, right? So that is the thing. So even though you have solved the problem right here, but interviewer is not going to be that happy. I mean, obviously he must be expecting if you can do something better than that. Can you I mean, he'll be like, okay, do you actually think that this is the, I mean, yeah, it solved the problem, but if it is the only way that could I mean, if you can think something better, if it is a good approach, what is your take on this? Then obviously it's not a good approach, because as of now we have the address class only, and every time we are creating a new object. And what if we have multiple such classes, you know, employees having dependency on? So let's say multiple such classes is there, and you know, requirements changes. As of now we are just taking a small example. Requirement changes, and then let's say we are introducing more attributes, then you have to make the changes here as well, right? And it's not, as of now, just one class. What if multiple classes and multiple changes, and all those unnecessary stuff is required? So now we'll be just getting rid of all of this. So now we'll be sending our address. I hope you must have heard about copy constructor. So we are going to use the same thing here. So what we'll be doing is that this time we are passing the address, right? So okay, so it is just asking us to create a constructor. So we'll create a constructor here, and here what we'll be doing is that, so we have the address, right? So what we'll be doing is that address dot country and address dot city. So we are creating a new object, and you can see we are calling this one only, this existing constructor only. So you can say it as, you must have heard about constructor chaining, right? So these values, the same values is being mapped, right? The same values is being mapped, right? And yep, so that's what we are copying the values, but a new object is getting created, right? So everything is sorted. So now let's run everything. So you can see the hash code is different, right? And our original object didn't get impacted, right? Still there is something that is not right. What do you think? All is working fine, all is sorted. So can we say our employee class is immutable? So let's say interviewer said, Soumya, can you do one thing, that take your original address, okay, original address dot set city, set it as Lucknow, or Itawa. Let's say this time take Itawa, and do original address dot set country as India, right? And just, can you please run it? So let's go. Okay, wait. Here, can you see? Okay, making country again setting is not making any sense, because India we are keeping the same value only. But here you can see city got changed. No, even if you will just put some other country name here, let's say Indiana, just randomly I'm putting. Okay, so see, the values got changed. So if still there is something that you need to fix, because see, original address we have, right? Original address we have, and I mean, this address class is mutable, so anyone can do this operation. And again, this will lead to, you know, this kind of things that you can see. As of now, we are able to change the values, which is anyhow impacting our employee class. So you have to do, as of now, in the getter method, we have created this defensive copying thing. We followed the copy constructor. The same kind of thing has to be done in the employee constructor also. We have to create the defensive copying here. So what we'll be doing here is the same thing only. We'll be doing the same thing only, that we are passing the new instance, right? So in this way, what will happen? That we are not changing the existing or original class. Okay, so now let's get back to our main method and let's run it again. So you can see the original address has not been impacted by this, right? Original address has not been impacted, even though we did this, right? So I hope that it does make sense. So you have to keep in mind two things. You have to follow the defensive copying in the getter as well as in the constructor too, right? So now we can say our employee class is immutable class, right? So this is how the possible scenarios based question you can have regarding your immutable class. Certain other important points that I feel, so let me share them as well with you. So these are some key points that you should remember for your, like, from your interview point of view. So the characteristics about the immutable class, that they have final instance variables, no setter methods. Common, they can ask you some common examples, some already existing immutable classes. So we have string, integer, and other wrapper classes. They all are immutable. Then what are the benefits? So it is thread safety is there. It is transparent. Caching is there. Referential integrity is there. Trade-off, so slightly they are more verbose, like in terms of code, if you will see, so they are more verbose when compared to mutable classes. And then again, for creation of the immutable classes, we already discussed, right? We already discussed the process, use final fields. Sometimes using private constructor is also suggested, right? Using private constructors is also suggested with defensive copying, but as of now, like in our example, we didn't follow that approach, and provide getter methods, right? So these are some of the key points that you should remember. So yeah, that was all about immutable class. I hope you were able to understand. If there is any query, you can just put that in the comment section, and let me know if you want me to make more such videos on certain important topics. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to share and subscribe my channel for more such content and for the motivation purpose as well. So thank you so much. Bye bye.